Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time. And what we have here is the first of two surprise guests this Sunday morning. Let's welcome Keto to the show. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Michael, for having me on.
Absolutely, man. So we're going to tell your kind of story. The genesis of this interview is you took some of our teachings and doing the work and actually put together a seller financing deal here recently that we're going to talk about. But let's actually go back in time. You stumbled across One Rental at a Time a couple of years ago. So let's just talk about the journey, what it's meant, what you have found, and then we'll get into what's going on here recently.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's been, like I said, I started watching you had like 3,000 followers.
Wow.
And so just like, in the background, just watching your daily financial news. And it's honestly, it's been a part of like my daily routine now. It's like,
Wow.
I got to get on some, I don't get the live ones too often, but for the most part, I watch the replays and just taking it to heart and just doing the work, just slowly but surely. Cause what I realize is real estate is a long game.
Right.
Right.
Awesome.
You talked about, it's not a get rich quick, but it's get rich for sure if you just follow the process and just really just having a buy box and then just sticking to it.
Focus is good, right? Focus is good. I think that's where a lot of investors, they kind of fall down step one. It's like, I'm excited. Okay, I get it. I got a buy box. I look at it, but what else should I do? It's like, that's it. You're done. Look at the buy box. That's it. Move on. Right.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So when you found me all 3 years ago, let's call it 2019. What was your real estate portfolio like? Did you have anything? What was going on then?
I didn't have a portfolio at all. I was, I was a licensed realtor.
Okay.
And then I just started, just doing wholesaling.
Okay.
And like when you're wholesaling, it's great money, but you're not building wealth.
It's chunks money. It's income.
It is. It's income. You make good income, and then you wait like 3-4 months before you get another deal. Right. And so just getting that roller coaster. And what I realized, just kind of watching, your shows, like, to really build wealth is just like buy and hold. And then you just like you said, just one rental at a time. So in 2019, I didn't have any rentals. And honestly, I didn't start buying rental till like 2021.
Okay.
Just
all right.
last year.
That's pretty common, right? So you stumble across me in 2019, daily financial news. You start hearing some of the other guests. You're wholesaling. Then, do you remember your first deal in 2021?
Yeah, my first deal,
first rental.
Yeah, first rental. It was actually a I wouldn't call it like a seller financing, but it was more like a lease option.
Okay.
Right. It's like, okay, well, that at least gets my foot in the door.
So let's break that down, because a lot of people hear a lease option and they may not be putting it together. So how did you find the lead, or how did you find the seller or the leaseor in this case? What was the story there?
Yeah, the story there was just doing, back when you were wholesaling, you're doing like seller outreach, right? Sending out letters, making phone calls. So we call it a gentleman, and he had a rental, and he wanted to sell, but not quite wanted to sell it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, I asked him how much he was getting a month for rent. And, what's important is like when you do the work, you understand what the rental market is doing. Right.
Yeah. It's one of the steps for sure.
Yeah. And, I'm in Billings, Montana.
Okay.
It's a city, it's the biggest city in Montana, but we're like about 100,000 people. So it's not that big.
Right? I know. I've sent you some cards, and let me just tell you, I don't send a lot to Montana. So I remember filling out your address. I'm like, Montana, good for him.
Yeah. So, he was getting like $1,200 a month for rents.
Okay.
Right. And then I knew, like, I could probably rent those out for like $1,800.
Okay.
Right. So,
So
you
so
know,
you
there's
saw a spread. Yep.
yeah. So I did see a spread in there, and then reached out to him, spoke to him. It's like, okay, you know what? And that was my first, property here
Okay. So
as a rental.
let's play that out. So again, so when you're going to do a lease contract, you basically have to agree on a price and a payment,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yep.
like a term.
Yep.
So it sounds like you agreed to 1,200, so he would be even. It sounds like that's what you did.
Mm-hmm.
What was the price
The
or the
price,
exit or whatever you call it?
the exit price was 200,000.
Okay. And what did you think it was worth?
It was probably worth like maybe 240 at the time.
Okay. All right.
Right. Like,
All right.
okay. I
And
mean,
then how long did you have to
I have,
exercise?
I have 5 years.
So you have, it sounds like you haven't exercised yet.
Yep. I've not, I've not exercised it yet.
Okay. And then how long did it take you to get the rents up to 18, or is it more than that now?
Yeah, it's definitely actually one side I'm getting like 950, and the other side I'm getting $1,200.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right. And then did you have any kind of an option fee, like $5,000?
Yeah, I actually put down 5,000, $10,000 option fee,
Okay.
which will get credit towards the
Of
purchase
course.
price.
Okay.
And I'm not getting other rental credits towards the purchase price.
Right. With every
But you know
payment.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it got my foot in the door.
Awesome.
And then I'm starting to building cash flow.
There you go. So again, so again, what people really, because again, we're heading into a market that if you know my stuff, right? It's a slowdown.
Yep.
I believe the market is about to get really slow post October 1st. So 5 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now. And what you're going to be rewarded on, Keto, is exactly what you did, right? There will be people who are owners who are interested in selling, but don't have to sell. There's a subtlety there. He's interested in selling, but doesn't have to sell. So that's where you come in and you just talk to him. What do you want? What do you need? Is there a way for us to put a deal together? So I think that skill that you just showed in that first deal is going to become extremely valuable going forward. So that's exciting. And other people watching this need to realize what he did, right? He found a seller who was interested to sell, but didn't have to, listened to what he was getting, knew his market, did the work, and took a shot. I think that's awesome. So that was the first one. Where do we go next?
Oh, it actually, from the first one, it started to like accelerate.
Of course it did. It's supposed to.
Yes. Yeah. So it started to accelerate. And, I did a combination of, lease option and then, borrowing, hard money to get into deals.
Let's talk about a deal you did with hard money.
A deal I did with hard money. It was actually, it's a property needed a lot of work. Okay. Right. And what I'm
a house, here, a duplex, or what?
It was actually a fourplex.
Oh, a fourplex. Okay.
Yeah,
I like
fourplex. It needed a lot of work, but I knew there was, I knew there was some potential there.
Okay.
Right?
So let's tell the story. How'd you find it?
Again, the customer outreach. Right.
Okay. Yep. All right. So you reach out, you find a seller with a dumpy fourplex.
My desk is just
you got an automatic desk.
I'm on the desk like, oops, that's what happens, right?
Yeah.
And let me see. And so it was a fourplex. We got it. The seller wanted 120,000.
Was it 1-1s, 2-1 studios?
It was actually a combination, mainly like 1-1s.
Okay.
All right. 1-1. And then there was a unit there that was like a 2-1.
So 3 1-1s and a 2-1.
3-1-1 and a 2-1.
Okay, great. All right.
And it anyway, it's like the neighborhoods that I invest in there, I call them like transition neighborhoods.
Okay.
Right.
Sure.
Because I see it, and just to give you a quick background, I'd actually moved from Seattle, which is a tough market.
Yeah.
Right. Into Billings, Montana, which is actually, I grew up in Billings.
Okay.
So there's an opportunity to go back and be with
going home. Yeah.
Yep.
That's
going
awesome.
home. It took a while to convince my wife that, that
I'm going to guess winters in Montana are a little rougher than Seattle. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, for sure. Like this would be like a minus 16 degrees. Woo! Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So with this one, we borrow hard money to buy it.
So let me
Okay.
just make sure. So again, the purchase price was what? I'm sorry, 140?
Was 120.
Okay, 120. You borrowed the entire 120?
Yep, we borrowed high 120. We had to put 10% down.
All right. So you got a hard money loan for 108 then?
Yes, 108.
Okay. 108. And then how'd you do the repairs? Was that draws or did you fund repairs out of your own pocket?
We actually, no, to take that back, we actually took we actually borrowed money for the repair as well.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what mostly happens.
Yeah, so we added the repair costs.
Which was what, 40 grand? What?
You know what? We budgeted. We ended up only using actually about 60 grand.
Okay.
Okay, but we took out it was like 100,000, but we only used like 60.
Oh, that's good. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So then you borrow, let's call it, you borrowed 200 grand.
Yep, 200
against
grand.
this asset. It's hard money, so it's expensive. I'm guessing 10, 11, 12% interest.
Yep. So I'm paying about $2,200 a month right now.
Okay, so that's probably call it 11%. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How long's the hard money? Is this kind of 6 month, 12 month, 2 years?
It's 12 months. It's actually
okay.
It's actually coming due.
Okay.
And my exit strategy is to kind of to refi out of that.
Okay. So you're gonna burr out.
Mm-hmm.
Are you done with did the remodel take less than 9 months? What did it take?
The remodel is still in progress.
Okay.
But, but we're actually cash flowing.
Okay.
Right.
That's nice.
So I think we're getting about on that one, we're getting about $3,200 a month for rents. So it's definitely enough to cover, because one of the things I learned from watching your show is you got to cash flow.
Oh yeah, right? Yeah. No, we're not gambling here. It's must cash flow day one. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yep. So with that, it's just a matter of so every deal I do, it's like it's got to make money. It's got to make money.
Awesome.
And once we're done with the rehab, actually we're adding 2 additional units.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah, because once we add the 2 additional units, it's definitely going to increase our cash flow position.
So it's going to go from a residential loan to commercial though, right? Mm-hmm. It's going from 4 to 6 units.
Right, 4 to 6 units.
So are you going to go to a non-QM lender, or what's the process?
Yes, for sure. For sure.
That's what it is. So you're probably well, it's really funny. You're actually going to probably make more cash flow, because right now you're paying 11, 12%. You're going to probably pay 8 with a non-QM lender.
Yep.
And you didn't use all the money. So your cash flow is going to go up as soon as you refi.
Yes. And
that's crazy. That's crazy.
And I'm actually talking to your guy, Steven.
Oh, nice.
Right. And he's actually doing one of my refi on another property that I have. So
yes. Steven Dow, my Friday expert, for folks that don't know, non-QM lender. He has his own playlist. I've done deals with him. He's the guy I worked with for 6 months to refi all of my apartments and office buildings to 30-year money. 30-year money, commercial stuff. It's awesome. No more interest rate risk. I am so happy with Velocity Mortgage and Steven Dow. So that's pretty cool. So let's fast forward to the deal you just did.
Okay. Yeah.
And again, I think we set it up right, because this is how I understand the story. You basically you network, which again is one of the steps in the process. You tell everybody what you're looking for. It sounds like this lead came from a realtor, and you'll take the story you take it from there. What happened? This is fun.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's, you're right. It's so important, like in this business, to really just network with people, right? Just tell people what you do. And so this property that came up on the market. What's interesting is it's actually next to one of my properties that I have acquired. So it
nice.
worked out great. Right. And so she called me up and see if I was, first, when she listed, she called me up see if I was interested. I said I would, but it's definitely got to be creative. So let's just wait.
Okay.
Right.
So again, I want people to realize what you're doing here is exactly the market I see coming October 1st. You're going to see first day listings. You're going to see stuff come on. It's going to be interesting. You have to let time go by. Time is how you test motivation. So please continue.
Yeah. So she's got it listed, and I'm just putting in the back burner. And she calls me up, hey, Keto, this, I still have this listing. We have people look at it, but nobody's really putting an offer. Would you be interested in putting an offer? I said, sure. I mean, I'd like to talk, I'd like to talk to the owner. Right. And because we built a relationship, she knows like,
you're not going to cut her out. You're
yeah,
not going to do
I'm not a
anything.
cut out. And also too, I'm also a licensed realtor. And I don't really do the traditional realtor work, but I just have my license, which is good,
Sure.
which is good to have. So she set up a meeting with the owner, and like when you're talking to them, just getting to know them, it's a relationship building, because in my mind, if he goes for the deal, I'm going to be in this relationship for
years. Yeah.
Right. Finding out, his timeline, what his motivation was, and find out what price he was looking for. And so the property was listed at 325.
Okay. What was it? A house, a duplex? What was it?
It was a house. So here's an interesting thing.
325 in Billings, Montana. This is an expensive house.
I know. So it's 2 levels. So it has the main level. And what happened was the owner over the years added on. So he added a 2-bedroom, 1 bath on top, and then to get to it, there's like a mud room, right? So that's been enclosed. And so in my mind, thinking, you know what, I'm going to convert that into a duplex, right?
Of course.
Because it has
separate entrance. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. As I just need to do some rewiring and get some plumbing in there, but nothing too. And so started talking to him. He asked me what he wanted. And then I said, well, I've got really like 2 offers. I could offer you cash, which is going to be low. I'll be honest with you. You know,
it's going to be it's going to be lower than you want, but hey, you'll be out. That's one option.
Exactly.
Right? Yep.
Or I can get you, close to what you're asking for. And then to make the long story short, we ended up at 290. And
again, he wanted 325. So you're 290. Okay.
Yep. 290. And what was funny was he wanted, because we started talking about terms and how that works. And in terms of down payment, he wanted like $150,000 down for down payment.
That's dude, what are you talking about? That's crazy.
Exactly. And I'm saying, honestly,
at that rate, I just get hard money, right?
Exactly. And I'm not going to be the buyer for you. I'll be honest with you. I typically put down 3 to 5% down.
Right.
That's
how it works. Yeah.
It's just how it works. And he goes, well, what about 10%? And so in my mind, it was important that he wanted a bigger down payment.
Yeah, he wanted something.
Yeah,
he wanted some walk away money.
Yep. I said, well, if I can get you your 10%, you'll move forward, right? He goes, yeah. Okay. Well, why don't I do this? Why don't I give you 5% now? Okay. I'll give you 2.5% next year, and I'll give you 2.5% the following year. So this way, you do get your 10%, but you're just going to get it in chunks.
Okay.
Right. And he agreed to it.
All right. Right. That's cool.
And so we got a payment of $1,000 a month.
So, again, I want people to realize what you did, right? So again, 290, you've agreed to 10% in 3 payments, 5%. We'll just do easy math. 15 grand now, 7,500 in a year, 7,500 in 2 years. He's carrying the rest, which would be, I don't know, whatever that is, call it 270. And you're paying him $1,000 a month on that.
Right. And not only that, is I negotiated that 1,000 goes down to the principal each month.
So it is entirely principal payment, no interest.
Exactly.
Oh, that's terrible. 0%.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
0%. Because what was funny, he asked me, the seller said, hey, well, what's my interest rate? What interest rate are you paying? And the seller's name's Don. I said, Don, you know what? I built in my interest rate because I'm giving you, more than a retail
more than
pricing.
I want.
Give you more than I want. And not only that is I buy it as it is, making it convenient. I do it quick in your time frame. And what was important to him is he has a tenant in there, right? That he had built a relationship with, and he didn't want to disturb.
He didn't want to be the one.
Yeah. So he said, well, what are you going to do with the tenants? He goes, well, do you want to tell her that she has to leave, or do you want me? Right. And then he goes, well, you can. It's like,
yeah, great. That's on you, buddy.
But what's interesting is because, and I actually, I told him, I tell you what, I can actually keep your tenant in there.
Yeah.
And then have her pay what she's paying now, because she's paying $1,000 a month.
Okay.
Right. So she could pay $1,000 a month, but this time, instead of getting the whole house, she's just going to have the bottom portion.
Right. Right.
So,
Okay.
and then I've talked to the tenant. She's pretty excited. She's happy. She's is rent going to go up? I said, no, I'm going to keep the rent the same, but you get to live downstairs here.
Mhm.
I mean,
And we're gonna frame up, and it's gonna be a separate unit.
yep. And
Cool.
she's totally okay with that. And you know, in the top unit, I can get like $1,500 more.
So that's your
So,
spread, 15. Because
yep.
again, that's awesome. So again, the last question is, how long is the note for? Is it 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10?
Well, originally I wanted 10 years. So this guy's like he's like 78. So he doesn't think he'll live 10 years.
Okay.
But oh, and another note too was important to him was, you know, if he doesn't make it,
Mhm.
right? You know, that his grandchild gets it.
Oh,
And so we
wow.
wrote, yeah, so we
Write
wrote
it right in the note. Yeah.
yep, we wrote on the note that, you know, put that the grandchild gets it. And he was pretty happy about that at the end.
That is
I sent
awesome.
you some picture. He was, you know,
Yeah.
he was really happy with the outcome. And the thing is, it's always like, you know, when you're doing deals like this, you want to create a win-win situation, right?
This is exactly, because this is the market we're heading to. We're going to have a lot of people like Don who don't have to sell, but let's be clear, they'd like to. You have to get to meet them. You have to get to know them. You have to figure out what is important. You have to take care of them. What you did in this situation is you got Don near his price. You gave Don some walkaway money. You got an interest rate that's remarkable. You took care of the tenant headache. You're buying as is, and you took care of him, because again, a lot of people at this age are worried about what happens. It happens to all of us. We pass. And he's like, I want to make sure my grandchild, I'm going to say her name's Mary, just make it up, that Mary gets it, right? You get a death certificate that says Don's no longer here. You change the payee from Don to Mary. You just roll. It's because, again, what people don't realize is when sellers do financing, that is a financial asset. That is part of their estate. So having that conversation, I would recommend more people have that conversation and write it right in. I think it's a good move, Keto.
Yeah, thank you. So, so instead of getting 10 years, we agreed to 7 because he went down to 5. Say, let's do halfway. So we're at 7 years, but it's all good. I'll be cash flowing, you know, each month.
And again, let's just play this out. So 7 years, $1,000 a month, all principal. That's $84,000. So again, when you have to refi, your 270 will be 190. It'll be an easy refi.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And meantime, I'm collecting cash flow each month. And that cash flow is what's going to be used to give him his 2.5% next year. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So in his mind, he's getting 10, but really in my mind, I'm giving 5.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I just got one last question. When you estimated the cost to convert it to a duplex, what does it cost in Billings, Montana? Are we talking 3, 5, 10 grand? What are we thinking?
Yeah, it's going to be like around 3 to 5 grand to convert it. So
yeah, take a mud room, wall it off. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. So how does your portfolio look today, right? You start this journey at 0. How many units or doors do we have now?
Gosh, you know, I'm pushing close to 80 doors now.
Oh my goodness, Keto. Just rocking and rolling, buddy.
So it's been incredible. Like the journey just in the last year, just how I was able to just like scale up. And
it all started with that first deal, and it gets
better. I'll start with the first deal and figure out how it works, and then, you know, understanding the different financing options that's available. And also, I'm getting a lot of seller financing deals, so which is great.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. People, I got to tell you, a lot of people, Keto, believe that seller financing is not possible. They just believe it. And I got to tell you, I don't know who said it. There was an old saying: if you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, you can't. There are millions and millions of Dons in this world, in the United States. There are tens and hundreds of thousands in each state. There are tens of thousands and thousands in each city. You have to find them. You have to establish a relationship. You have to freaking listen. They're out there, right? They're out there.
Yeah, they are. And, if I've listened to Zig Ziglar, and, you know, he says, if you help people get what they want, you'll get what you want. Right. And so, and that's the thing, like when we're in, as investors, where we're out there making deals, just to really give them what they want. right?
Yeah.
If you could find a way to do that, that's where you're going to grow.
You're going to know your lanes, right? We don't do negative cash flow ever, right? That's what you've told every story you told me. You said, these are my numbers. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. You just wait. You've networked. I mean, all these themes are in One Rental at a Time. You do the work every day. You believe it's possible. You have different, I call them tools, right? You got lease option, you got hard money, you got seller financing, and you just never stop. You believe it's possible, and you just keep going. You've gone from 0 to almost 80 doors in a couple of years. I am ecstatic for you. I am happy for you. I look forward to sending you more and more cards. What does the future hold? What do you think the next couple of years are for Keto?
Well, it's just to really grow more, right? And I didn't think that it was possible to just really create the financial freedom in such a short amount of time. But once you do, the world just kind of opens up to like it's possible, right? Like when you wake up, you don't have to worry about paying your bills because you bought one rental at a time, right? And each rental, whether you're making $500 or $1,000, it stacks up. Right. And then pretty soon you have enough where work becomes an option. Right. And that's a good feeling. Like I'm so excited.
No. That's a great feeling.
It is a great feeling. and I'm so excited to see what's, with the market, what's happening.
I got to tell you, the market is coming to you. The success you've had over the last couple of years, I'll just say it right here, right now, you'll dwarf it the next 2 years. You've built a network, your buy box, your numbers, seller financing, lease. Because what's going to happen post-September in most markets is we're going to find out who has to sell, who would like to sell, who doesn't need to sell. It's going to be you have done amazing things in a very challenging market. You are going to feel like a kid in a candy store after October 1st. It is going to be awesome for you.
Yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it, and I just want to thank you, Michael, for the content that you put out, and the guests that you put on. That just watching just inspires me to do more and see what's possible.
Yeah, do the work. We have the course, How to Get Started One Rental at a Time. It's very simple, very straightforward. Do the work, buy box, focus, build your network, understand the math. It's all there for you. Keto, do you have a social media where people can follow you and see what's going on, or not really?
Yeah, I'm not as active, but I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
It's Keto and my last name Keutla.
Awesome.
You should be able to find me, and I'll do post like my updates on the rehabs and.
Awesome. I will follow you today if I'm not already.
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome, Keto. Thank you very much for reaching out. Very inspired. Keep doing deals. Keep knowing what's going on. Maybe you'll come back in 6 months and tell us where you're at.
Absolutely, for sure. Thank you, Michael.
Buddy. Thanks, and good luck dominating Billings, Montana.
Okay.
Thanks.